You're such an asshole.
AssholeConsulting.com. We got a great video request, and I wish I had the answer, dude. I wish. And like I said before, if you can figure out the answer to this, you will be a billionaire overnight. And that is how to get young people to read books, or my book in particular, which is your question. So, young man, well, not so young. A man who has a father, he's a father with a young little kid, writes, "Hey, asshole, I got a new request. Get my son to read your book, Bachelor Pad Economics. I sent my dad Enjoy the Decline, and he read it promptly. I listened to Worthless with my daughter on Audible. The whole thing took us a few weeks." How does that take a few weeks? It's not that long of a book. Don't you just, like, drive her to school and, yeah? She loved it and gained new insight even though she's a SJW. Yeah, well, how does she have you as a father and she's an SJW? I mean, and if she liked it, loved it. You said she loved it. I'm kind of surprised that just didn't blow up her entire world view perception. Slowly turning her around. But my son I don't get to see either much because he just got back from deployment. Is stationed in Abilene, Texas. He joined the Air Force at 18 and has made every right decision where I made a wrong one. But even though he is happy now, as we are all after deployments. I want him to read. He's not a reader. Your book, because I know it can be helpful to him. He thinks right now that he is doing a good job, which he is. But he's only 20 and he is doing everything right. But I want him to know that everything can turn south. Yeah, you know what? It can happen where, you get a really good father such as yourself. And I'm not kissing your ass. I'm just telling you how it is. And these kids make these right choices. People make right choices, but they don't know why they're right choices. And the true lifelong skill is to know why, that's wisdom, is to why you should make these right choices. If, he just happened to go to the military, choose the right type of STEM engineering degree, and then he got lucky, let's say he found some really nice gal, he's thinking, well, this life thing isn't that hard. It's like, yeah, dude, you don't realize, you made the statistically improbable choices in the decision no tree that was 0.1%, you make that one. Then it's like winning the Triple Crown, or not the Triple Crown. Predicting 3 horse races in a row. It's very statistically unlikely, but if you happen to be fortunate enough or parents raised you properly enough, the kid then well, this is, how hard is this? This lifestyle, I don't understand. It's yeah, kid, you don't understand. There's other demons and sharks out there that are going to eat you for lunch. Yeah, you didn't screw up here, and you didn't screw up there, and you didn't screw up there. So you built this great life, which only means there's a lot more at risk if you screw up on A, B, and C after X, Y, and Z. So yeah, I know where you're coming from. He's doing great now, and you don't want him to screw it up. We all knew that guy. Everything was going great. Then he got married to the wrong gal, and then all of a sudden, divorce. And, oh my God, I'm just not happy. But I want him to know that everything can turn south, while at the same time making him aware. Don't go into politics or economics because he tunes out like his mother. All right, I won't. And aside, a lot of things in your book, which I love, talked about being stern mean to women. Stern mean? I never did that. I don't think he understands that dynamics, or maybe he's probably telling me to grow up, old man. Can you make a video? I'm putting a tip on here just for taking the time to read this. No, this is a great question. This is a great question. All right, look, you love your son. You want the best thing to happen to him. You love your daughter. That's why you put her through watching it. As for the larger philosophical question, dude, if I had that answer on how to get young people to read wisdom from old farts like us, I would be a billionaire. I'd be the New York Times bestseller. Let's just be honest. Worthless and Bachelor Pad Economics, those should be mandatory reading in school. It just should be mandatory. My other book, which no one really knows that much about, it's an essay, Poor Richard's Retirement, that's mandatory reading. That would solve the United States retirement issue today. It would. So hopefully tomorrow people, oh my God, he said it would, and he's not lying. This is the greatest. It's like a vaccine. It's like I cured, not cancer, I wouldn't go that far, but I cured anthrax. It's hey, ain't nobody got to get rabies no more. Huh? Hey, look at me on Pasteur. Look him up. It was the guy. Pasteurized comes from a dude who was a scientist many years ago, but no, I wish. That's the hard part about this book wisdom stuff is not the writing of it. It's getting these kids to read it. And it's getting them to understand that you truly love and care about them enough that you want them to have a better life than you did. But what I think a lot of it is, and this is why I run into the problem, there's like this, a buddy of mine's got a little kid. Well, she ain't so little no more. She's like, 16, almost a young woman now. And I kind of like looked at her like she came from not the greatest background, kind of similar to mine. And I'm like, dude, I know exactly. Holy cow. Look, I went through some crap, man. And I can prevent you from going through it. Trust you me, I can make your life a lot easier. But what I think happens, especially by the day it started happening late grade school, before middle school, like 4th or 5th grade, these kids, and this is just my theory, they are sent to the literal mental prison of school. And whereas they're idealistic and optimistic, hopeful, like at the 1st and 2nd grade, by the 4th or 5th grade, they realize it's a prison. Their teachers are not advancing them. Their teachers are not at their same intellectual level. The teachers are dumber than the students because teachers are actually one of the lowest IQ majors out there. And you also have to play to the lowest common denominator. You have a government bureaucracy running this whole thing. And so it is the antithesis of intellectual stimulation. And you have, I don't even want to say smart boys and girls. It's just average intelligence boys and girls or smarter who are just mentally defeated and taxed to the point they don't care. They go into a funk. They go into a depression. Especially if you're really smart, then you're just like, why would I pay attention? I always thought I was dumb. And I was a solid C- student because I didn't try or care. Because it's like, here's this painful thing my parents set us up for that we have to go to, and nobody at higher powers of levels of power decided like, well, maybe we don't have to do it this way. Maybe there's a better way. But no, we're just going to send them to this prison. They tune out adults, all of them, because they have every right to. All the adults, it's not that you guys lied to them or you personally did. It's that the majority of adults lied to them, do not intellectually stimulate them, and take advantage of them. I don't mean a sexual pedophilia way, but let's be very clear. The people that they're spending the most time with, the public school people, they're totally taking advantage of those kids for money. They don't give a damn about those kids' education. They just want their damn money. And they're going to champion and cheer on bad students because you get special ed money and we get more money. You get a teacher-student ratio of 1-to-1 and then we just get more money. They really don't care about your kids. And inevitably that ultimate toll or tax or price that is paid is that your child no longer listens to any adult. They're no longer invigorated or excited about life, about anything. And even though your son's been out of school for quite some time, that sticks with you. Like, I remember when I was 16, I'm like, yeah, why would I listen to any adult? Why would I listen to them? They lied to me. This is boring. This is a taxing prison-like life. I can't wait to get to college, get out of here. But then you just are lied to with more adults and more lies and left this poppycock. But I'm not saying that maybe that's necessarily your son, but that's a possibility, a potential you got to consider. And just with him going to school, and I'm glad your daughter listened to you, even though she's an SJW. At least maybe she sounded like she was open-minded. Listen, that's great. That's wonderful. But I'm going to bet your son's probably smarter than the average bear. He went to the military. He's making all these right decisions. I think there's a correlation between intelligence and him making all those decisions. But you're not going to get, like, when my mom recommended, like, you should read this book. It's like, oh, shut up. Just, no, I'm not reading any more books. All you old baby boomer fart teachers told me to read these books, and they all suck. They're boring. They're not stimulating. If they are stimulating, I've been so drained and brainwashed by being me forced to go ship off to school at 6:30 a.m. in the big, cheese cubicle rectangle of bus to go in here and listen. So it's sad, but I think his soul might have been destroyed. His ability to learn has been destroyed. I didn't get back my ability to learn until podcasts came out again. Well, I was like, oh, wow, there is some really interesting stuff. Apparently teachers just teachers almost have to work really hard at it to avoid making U.S. history interesting. Like, you got to really work hard at making it boring. You got to make literature really boring. And don't you worry, America's best public sector school union teachers will make everything boring. So, in other words, I think your son, it's not that he was betrayed or doesn't trust you or doesn't love you. It's certainly not that. But he just, why? He just got out. He got out of high school. He got out of the prison. Why would he listen? Why? And I wish I had an answer. Well, I know why he doesn't listen, because why would he? He's been lied to his entire time about intellectually stimulating. This is intellectually stimulating. So how do you get him to read the book? Dude, I wish I knew. I could personally implore him. Please, kid, your dad loves you. He really wants you to have a better life, and he wants you to keep going down the right path. Like, keep making good decisions. I've tried with my buddy's little kid, and not so little anymore. Again, I've tried, but there's like this callus of defeatism that you run into. And I can't blame him. I can't blame him either. I just really can't. I'm like, yeah, I understand. I was there. I didn't want to learn anything. You could have been the most interesting teacher ever. I remember there was one teacher, our chemistry teacher. He was, in retrospect, he was very interesting. He was brilliant. But by the time you made it to his class, your English teacher, your civics teacher, or just the regular skullduggery of school beat the ever-living crap out of you, and you didn't have the energy to listen or pay attention or be reinvigorated anymore. Then that's unfortunate. I think maybe your son is. So how do you get him? How do you get him to listen? I don't know. I wish I had the answer. I've often thought about bribing, but I have a moral issue with that. It's also another reason I put everything into audiobook. Audiobook is why because I don't like reading. Why would you read? We're gonna, get him the audio version book. But in the end, you're just gonna have to realize that you don't 100% control him, and it's only gonna be up to him to make that choice. And that's one of the harder things I've had to come to accept, is where I see people I know I can help. Oh my God, you have no idea. I mean, if I wasn't female, I'd probably cry. But I look at these poor kids where I'm like, they're just about to get the crap kicked out of them in life, and you're like behind this soundproof glass, and you're like yelling, like, go, do this, get out of here, go. Like, it's like, move. And life is just coming down to consume them and ruin them, and it hurts. It actually, I don't like seeing these people hurt. And not that your son's not being hurt. I know people that are, but and you have to realize that sometimes you're helpless. It's the stoicism. Like, I've said my piece. I've made my case. I try to get my friend, my son, my loved one, whoever else, just someone you care about, to make decisions and read books or whatever to have better things in life. But in the end, you don't control them. And I think maybe it's more of an issue, of a lesson that you have to learn. Like, I teach these online classes, and more recently I've been really driving down, insisting on the point that no, a lot of the classes that a lot of the students I have in the classes that I teach, they're middle-aged folk. They have kids and they're about to go to college, and they're like, how do I pay for it? Oh my God, college is so expensive. I'm like, one, you should think about maybe not paying your kids way through college, but two, more importantly, it doesn't matter how you finance college. It matters more that you make sure your child majors in the right thing. And the backlash and the quietness and the rebuke by silence I get from these people. Because, like, I dared to say, yeah, don't major in sociology. No, why would you do that? I've even had students like, well, I'm getting my doctorate in this. I'm like, can I implore you to change your degree? Because that's not going to pay. That's not going to be a rate of return. And it's like you personally shot their kitten or something. I don't know how to get your son to he's a military man, so you think maybe you could make a plea for reason and logic and evidence. He's made the right choices. There must be a algorithm or a logic, a method to his madness. He's not, obviously doesn't have a madness, but he's methodical. Have you ever had a one-on-one with him? Say, son, I really want you to listen to this book, because I don't want reading as a pain in the patoots. You want him to listen to it. I will buy you this. Please, you can do outright bribery, of which I've thought, but again, it's like, what, I got to pay you $100 to read a book that's going to save you hundreds of $1,000s down the road? It's like, after a while, you kind of like, nah, you get to make your own bed. Nah, you get to make your own mistakes. After a while, you abdicate your responsibility, of which you never had any. I know you're the father, but he's an adult now. Yeah, you just, and it hurts. I know it hurts to see. He hasn't even screwed up. You're worried that he's going to, and I understand that. You're like, you're like, again, you're screaming at the movies, you're going, go, run! But sometimes they don't listen, and there's nothing that's going to get through to them. So what I would recommend you do is you have a one-on-one with him and say, look, son, this really means a lot to me. I mean, and just say, I want you to listen to this book. Not read, just please listen to this book. It means I love you very much. You're the most important thing in my life. You are my son. Please, I want you to continue on your success. I mean, just make a very heartfelt, honest request. And tell him, like, no, I can't curse because you don't want me to. Get in his face. Like, listen, you little stupid piece of crap. You're gonna listen to this darn bleeping book, and I don't want to hear the second. You're gonna listen to it. Period. End of discussion. That's it. And if you'd like to sit at the Thanksgiving dinner table, I'm going to interrogate you about what was in. You're going to have a book report question. We're going to give you a questionnaire about the book. What were the principal tenets? I mean, if you just basically say, look, son, I love you very much. Please go read this book because there's wisdom in here that will help carry you forward and make sure you don't screw up. I want the best for you, but the best cannot be attained until you read or listen to this bleeping book. So that's the only way. Like I said, if I knew a way to get young high school kids to read my books, oh my God, I would be a millionaire. Tomorrow. And Worthless and Bachelor Pad Economics. I just sit and like, get my money. Woo! I throw it up in the air and then I do as it rained down on top of me. But yeah, I don't know that formula. Because like I said, I think these kids are just mentally defeated by the time they come out of high school. They're just beat. And they don't want to read anything else ever again. Because we lied. Oh yeah, Catcher in the Rye. Good Lord. Who wants to read that? And Lord knows whatever leftist slop they're feeding, indoctrinating. Yeah, I want to read politics. That's what I want to do for fun, right or left. I want to read politics. And aside, a lot of things in your book, which I love, talk about being stern mean to women. I never did that. I don't think he understands that dynamic, or maybe he's probably telling me to grow up, old man. Can you make a video? Yeah, that's stern mean. I don't want to say it's stern mean. I don't. No guy does. No real honest man does. No guy likes being mean to women. I don't think you should be mean. Mean is the wrong word. You should be fair. You should be stern. You should be aloof and indifferent. And you should, I don't want to say cold or callous, but an element of cold or callousness. But if you read Bachelor Pad Economics, I got a whole chapter on it, on why the economics, like, explain to him, maybe he's listening, but it's all about, how do you explain it to him? It's all about supply and demand. It's economics. If he floods the market with attention, he floods a woman with attention, she's going to have them wrapped around her finger. She's not going to value it. You buy a girl flowers every day, well, those flowers mean nothing. But if you have the bit of self-respect, and don't worry, women will give you plenty of opportunities to say, like, no, we're not doing that, and that's unacceptable behavior. You draw the line, like, here are the standards. You're not doing a meltdown. You're not doing a temper tantrum. Every guy's going to have at least 2 girls in their lives that do that. And you just draw a line here, like, yeah, you're not doing that anymore. I don't like being mean. I really don't. I know here on Capposphere we like to bust gals. We like to give them guff. I like to be really hard on them on their lack of STEM pursuance. But that's the only reason I say that is because I actually give a bleep about them. I want them to achieve excellence. I want them to major in STEM. I am so sick and tired of hearing about the wage gap. Here's your aunt. Go, dude. Bleep out of here. But he's got to understand it from that perspective. Economics is, I think, the right way to go. Like, with every guy praising the girl he's chasing after, and you're wonderful, da, da, da. He has to be the one guy to stand up by saying, yeah, no, F you. No, I'm not. I'm going to go do another deployment, and I'll see you later. And then also like, oh my gosh, because he's unique. There's a very limited supply of masculine men who tell women no. So it's not about, you don't want to be mean to it. It is really hard. Have you ever tried to be mean to a girl? It's not in our soul. I don't think it's in men's soul to be mean to women. Right? At least those of us with honest cores. I don't like being mean to women. But I have no problem putting them on ice. I have no problem keeping them and I have no problem holding them to standards. So it's not necessarily that you're being mean to them, but you're like, no, you're going to achieve this standard. You hold them to a standard. No, you're not going to cry and give me drama and baloney and antics. No, you're not going to get drunk and go party with your girlfriends and then, oh my gosh, I didn't know I was drunk and he just kind of happened to sleep with me. No, it's not like, oops, I got pregnant. Nope, no. Here are the standards for your son, whatever his name is, Bob, Fred, Frank, whatever, even those are old man's names. Here's his standards. And he's got a life going on, so he can afford to have good standards. He's got a good career, sounds like he's making all the right choices, just sounds like a good kid in general. Telling him not to kiss the ass of women. How does that sound? Not to flagellate himself in front of them. Not to prostrate himself in front of them. But to have some standards. No, I got my own life going on. And, oh, you want to hang out with me? Well, this BS is not going to happen no matter how much I want to bang you. I'm really trying to keep it clean. But let's worry about that later right now. I think if you can get him to read the book, I go into that in a lot of detail in the book. There's a whole chapter. I think it is on the economics. Let's take a look at this. And then when your teachers do that, they put spit on the piece of paper. You're like, fuck, I don't want that. Crap, I don't want that piece of paper. Got your old woman, wrinkly, baggy cheeks germs on it. Education is basic entrepreneurship. Girls. I think girls 194. I think I even immediately lead into. Oh, hey, look, there's a picture. Oh, I was over in Jamaica. Plurality. The economic model. Yeah, right off the bat. It's economics. And I want to make sure I remember it. It really is economics. So, yeah, have him read this book. And that'll kind of take care of that problem. That's if you can get him to read a book. If you can't get him to read the book, look, sometimes it's not your fault. You tried your best. He is his own man. He has his own sentient into it. And ironically, the SJW daughter you have is more open-minded than him. But, at the same time, you kind of maybe got to forgive yourself. All right. You guys got questions? The old captain has answers over at assholeconsulting.com. Get that book, Bachelor Pad Economics. Great book for every young man and boy out there, and women too, for those bold enough to read it. That's about it. So, hey, and if you'd like to help out the old captain, hey, maybe this Christmas, buy him my books. You want that revolution where kids get fiscal discipline and responsibility and all that? Yeah, get them my books. They make great Christmas gifts. All right, we'll see you kids later. Toodles.